So here we have a pretty rare find for the pick your own parts yard, or really kind of any junkyard. This is a 1979 Jeep CJ7. It is fairly complete. Still got 3 of 4 rims in pretty good shape. It's still got both its axles, engine, transmission. A lot of the body is still there. Very unique in that it was born with the 304 V8. We can see that from the VIN here. You can see that J9F93AH, and that H is the code for the 304 V8. So the rarest engine option, particularly in 1979 when people were very concerned about fuel prices and emissions. To see a factory V8 in a Jeep, and it is still pretty complete. Exhaust is still there, carburetor is still there, all the accessories here on the front are still there on that 304 as well. Missing the grille, missing the hood, but most of the rest of the body is fairly intact. Most importantly, the front and rear axle are still there. Kind of tilt up here and come around to this side. You can see there are those rims that are 3/4 there anyway. 3 of 4 are there. And it's not too terribly rusty. This is an Arizona junkyard, so that's not surprising, but there is some body rust, which also is not surprising for a Jeep, particularly of this era. But it's a real old school Jeep. That windshield will fold completely flat. It does not have the optional roll bar, so you're kind of taking your life in your hands if you were driving this and did that and you had a rollover. But very intact Jeep CJ7 here in the junkyard. You can see down here that rear axle is still there. Drivetrain is still complete. Swinging around to this side, again, 3 of those 4 rims are still there and in pretty good shape. The interior is what you'd expect in a junkyard. You know, it's pretty rough, but certainly the seat frames are here and intact and could certainly be recovered. The shifter is gone. The shift knob on the 4-wheel drive is gone, but the transmission is down in there. Clutch pedal assembly. This is a manual 3-speed Jeep. Automatics were available at this time. Most people did not opt for them. But you get a 3-speed manual or 4-speed manual, and this vehicle was born with a 3-speed manual and that 304 V8. And then most of the gauges are still here and intact as well. You can see that big center speedometer is there in pretty good shape. You've got your other gauges. A few of them you'd need to, you can see how that one's pretty fogged. You'd need to replace the glass, but they are there. And that what looks to be factory radio is still there as well. So a pretty intact old school Jeep here in the yard. You certainly would need to do body work and interior work, but that engine is completely there. And you've got everything you need to do, you know, a complete restoration on this pretty intact Jeep. It doesn't look like it's been in an accident. It probably was just abandoned somewhere and ended up here in the junkyard. No real collision damage that I can see, but a pretty unique find here at the you know, most of these are late models within the last 10 years here at this pull your own part yard. But here we've got a original 304 V8 manual 3-speed Jeep CJ7 from 1979. And other than you needing to source a 4th rim and do a lot of interior and body work most likely, but all of these parts are available as reproductions, so it's actually fairly straightforward to do a lot of the body work on a Jeep. You would certainly need to do that. You certainly need to work on that interior. And as long as you're going to all that trouble, you'd probably want to rebuild this V8 and its manual transmission as well. But they're all there. All the parts are there, including all the front accessories. So you've got everything you need to get that done. So a pretty cool, unique find here at the Pull Your Own Parts Junkyard in 1979. Jeep CJ7, born from the factory with a 304 V8 and a manual transmission.